And we are now live with Kynny Vixen. And well, I guess she's going to be a resident psychic or a resident. How would you, our first guest of Emmy After Dark? How's that?
Yeah, I couldn't categorize myself. Oops. Sorry.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your background and your experiences in the paranormal and what brought you to um, using some of your psychic abilities today?
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm psychic. I was kind of joking about that, but I do think that I have no, not known I was knowing things and said things out loud and then seen them kind of happen, not super often, just every once in a while. And so, it could be just a connection to the universe, more of a receiving than a psychic per se. Um,
Okay.
yeah. I did have so after COVID, I started watching a lot of like tarot readings and stuff on TV, and I love that stuff. And I have a bunch of those. And I don't know how to read tarot, but I have a bunch of cards, and I have a bunch of oracle cards and stuff like that. And I got into that, and I bet I saw a lady using a pendulum one time, and I was like, oh, I want to try that.
Mm-hmm.
So I did, and then it was like very reactive. And then I had a friend of mine who apparently her nail technician is a medium,
Uh-huh.
and they happened to be talking about me because my friend's sister passed, and I was trying to talk to her one night. We were trying to talk to her, and her nail tech said, your friend Kendra is a medium. She just doesn't know it, because I was brought up in church my whole life. So that's pushed way down. You know what I mean?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was a time when my grandparents were pushing Catholicism on me, and like Spanish, like Latina Catholicism. And so all of that was like taboo to talk about. But then we
Yeah.
celebrated like Dia de los Muertos, and we're in the middle of a cemetery trying to like, we're talking to our deceased, loved ones. So um yeah, it's just kind of interesting how some religions kind of like don't want you to talk about it, and then like others are kind of like more open. Or
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, is it the it's one of the churches, and they say that mediumship or psychic abilities is like a gift from God.
Mm.
So like I've noticed that there's a number of psychics that I've been to, and some, well, two have been accurate. The rest have been like kind of like just for entertainment, you know what I mean? But they all believed in Jesus Christ, and they all prayed to him before they did their thing. And like I said, two of them were very, very accurate. The rest was just like, you know, it was for entertainment, so I'm not gonna like really rely on it. But yeah, what is your experience with going to see other psychics, and has it come true?
I haven't really gone to see a psychic
Really?
personally. Mm-mm.
Would you be open to it?
Totally.
Yeah.
I,
What
I
would you
did
ask?
one time. My one of my besties bought me like a phone psychic reading though, but I don't. I don't remember.
Oh,
Like I can't. It's like for me, I need something like recorded so I can like
uh-huh.
listen to it again because in the moment of things, I can't like retain information very good sometimes. Like I forget what they said when I walk away sometimes, and so I would need to have it something recorded for me to be able to reflect on it later.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would recommend that because when I got my it was like a reading and it was supposed to be for like the future, like 2 year span of time, right? And I really wish that I wrote it down because the majority of it, if not all of it, came true. So much so that like I could bet on it. I could be like, this is gonna happen, like this, and this. I bet you like $1,000. And my now ex-husband quit betting me because he was like, no, I'm not giving you any more money because you went to a psychic and you got a leg up. Like, it's not fair. So, uh, but I do highly recommend writing it down or recording it because at the time, me and my best friend were just laughing at this person. Oh, where'd you go? You still there? But we were just let me see if I can get Kynny back on. Oh, there she is. Was that
No,
you or was that
I
me?
it
I'm
was me.
sorry.
I kicked myself off. I was trying to figure out why I couldn't see the why I couldn't see the chat comments on the screen. Because the
Oh,
last time I shared a live stream with Elsie and them, I could see them on the screen here in front of me instead of
uh-huh.
over here on my laptop. Because I want to see what the peeps are saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the whole thought
No, you're
process.
fine. I was just saying that me and my girlfriend were laughing at the psychic because what she was saying was just unbelievable. She was like, "Oh, you're gonna have another child by like IVF," and we're like, "Yeah, right. Like, not gonna happen."
And
So
then you
yeah.
did.
We did well, yeah, not we weren't successful, but everything that the psychic said happened as far as like she said that we're gonna do IVF. We did IVF. She said it was gonna be like the hardest thing that your body will ever have to go through. And oh my god, it was like the hardest thing that like my body and spiritually like I had to like go through because I have a fear of needles. So every night I was like, I can't stab myself. My husband at the time was trying to like stab me, and I'm like, no, that's a logo. Um, and even all the way up to the fact that she was like, you guys are going to have to take a break and you're not going to be successful because of your oldest, is what she said. And I tried to fight fate because I was like, she's she may be right about everything. She may be right about me meeting my future husband at work and blah blah blah. But I know exactly what is gonna go on, and she's already told me this. So if I just do it anyways, it'll be a different result, right? So
Mm.
the day that I was supposed to like implant, right after spending thousands of dollars and doctor's appointments and time off work, it was like the day, but it was like a 2.5 hour drive, right? And I had to plan it down to like the minute because I had to go through like a busy like commute and freeways and everything, right? And I was like, I got this because she already told me, and I'm just gonna go early and it's gonna be great. Oh my god, that was like the worst day of my life. Like all of us, like last minute, no one can drop off the kids at school but me. Okay. So then I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just drop them off earlier and they can just play on the playground and we'll just get yelled at for me dropping them off 10 minutes early. Right. So I was still like planning this, right? On the way to the school, no, on the way back from dropping my kids off early, a deer just happened to get hit by a car and was blocking the roadway. And I was stopped behind this car that had hit this deer, right? And I'm like, oh, heck no. I'm going to get this. She has to move. Like, this is the only way out, right? And this deer is not going to stop me. I still have time, right? And this girl's like freaking out. And I'm like, hey, I don't care. I'm here. Get me a blanket. Let's do this. Get out of the road so then I can go to my freaking appointment. Okay. Like teamwork, right? So she's like, okay, okay. She's so freaking out. She gets me a blanket and then we're both on either side and I'm like, okay, we're both going to pull this thing to the side of the road and we'll just get in our cars and we'll just leave the blanket and we'll go, right? That was the plan. Well, as I started pulling, she was like, sorry, jumps into her car and does like this weirdest like U turn thing like on someone's yard, just left me with this deer in the road still blocking my car. And I was like, oh my God. So am I supposed to get in my car and do this like weird U-turn thing? Like I'm going to hit someone's mailbox or something. Like it's not going to happen. So I was stuck. Finally got this deer off the road, right? Make it down to the light to go out of town. Car accident. So then
Well,
I
that's
was just,
because you're not supposed to. That's, I mean,
I was so upset.
you can't cheat it.
And then I was like, oh my God, now we have to do the entire process over again. Doctor's appointments, thousands of dollars, meds, shots, everything, right? And so I'm just like, I can't believe I have to do this because of a stupid deer. And I just can't just right. So then I get home, my husband at the time was home, and then I'm like, he's like, aren't you supposed to be at the clinic? And I'm like, there was a deer and then there was a car accident and I'm just so stressed out. Now we have to do everything over again. And then he was like, good, I need to tell you something. And I was like, what? He's like, I don't think we're ready. We have to deal with, the oldest and give him love and support. And it's just not the right time. And I'm really glad that there was this deer and this car accident and all this other stuff. And I was like, what the fluff? Like, I had planned everything out to the T so that this psychic wouldn't be right. And she was right this whole time. Like, I was like,
You can't
what?
cheat the universe. You
Is this
cannot
the
cheat the
universe?
universe. There was a plan in motion and she saw it, and it's kind of like you can't like you can't just you changing all of those things was exactly what led you to be in the place you were supposed to be in. Like you can't like beat it.
I was trying to beat it. And it was the same thing like 2 years later with money. The same, like, it, like, oh, I'm going to get this large sum of money. I have a money emergency. I can hold off, right? Well, I ended up getting a loan from the same place that the psychic said that I was going to get a loan from. But I'm like, would that have really have happened if I didn't believe her? Because I must have had to believe her because I was putting off this whole thing. And then in the end, I'm like, oh, I need to get a loan. And then like a month later, I was like, oh, she was right about the large sum of money. Like, and then I'm
it could
like,
it
yeah.
could also be that you like created your destiny because she told you that too, like, right? Because if you're manifesting your like life as you're going along based on your perception and what you think is true, and you believed her, right? So you believed her. That's the basic need to be a good manifester, is to believe it.
Huh.
You know what I mean? So like the universe conspired to make that happen. You know what I mean? Because you believed it was going to happen. And even when you were trying to beat the other situation, it's because you believed it was going to happen. So
Oh,
is it
wow.
that she was psychic? Like, yes, but also does her being psychic and sharing that with you create what she saw?
Oh my God, like the butterfly effect.
Right? It's like all interconnected and stuff.
Like, what if I never went to her?
Would it have happened then? That's the bigger question. You need to go to another psychic and ask that. Can they look backwards?
I don't know.
Can they look backwards at, like, if I had taken this road, what would have
Oh my
happened?
gosh. My
That
life
would be
probably
a
would
cool
have
skill.
like looked like 1,000 times different. I probably wouldn't have moved or got new or got married.
I mean, anything is possible.
That's
I was, I
crazy.
mean, it's kind of one of those, stop it. My cat is sitting next to me and he keeps reaching out and touching me, which is really cute, except that his claws are pointy. Like he's like a little
Oh,
needle every time he touches me, and it's really pissing me
he's
off.
feeling the spirits.
I'm like, please stop touching me. Um, it's not the cat from the video, in case anybody's wondering. It's one of my other cats. Stop it. Anyhow, but it makes me think of how everything that happens in your world, whether it's your life or the lives of people around you that affect your life and your world, how they say everything happens for a reason. And like, that's so shitty when it, sorry, that's so, can I say that? when, they, when those things are bad, right? So like when bad things happen, you're like, oh, I suppose this is for my greater good, right? And it's like, well, maybe, and so like even like the worst things, like speaking of ghosts, and like the first time I ever used my pendulum, I was talking to my friend Shayna.
Uh-huh.
She passed at the age of 27, I believe, maybe 28.
Oh, so
And
young.
yeah, and she was like one of those people that just was just the good die young style. And so she was one of like the first person I tried to talk to, of course. And because I feel like she has to talk to me. That's the rules. So but thinking about her passing and how it was, one of the worst things ever. My other friend who was very close with her ended up, after she passed, she got married and had kids, and then, eventually divorced. And like we were talking about how if my friend Shayna had still been alive, then I don't know if she'd have married that guy because I don't think she would have liked him. And I don't think she would have gotten married. And I don't think she would have had those kids. And
Oh,
as
wow.
sad, as sad and heartbreaking as it is that she's gone, and how much I wish that she wasn't, Sarah, my friend Sarah's entire life could be different. You know what I mean? So, you know what I
Wow.
mean? Everything that
Yeah.
happens, not that maybe you manifested those kinds of things, but along with your perception and what you believe is true, all those things kind of lead you in your life, I think.
Yeah. Wow, that is so like butterfly effect. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
so I'm kind of interested. You said pendulum. How do you use a pendulum?
so I have one right here because I was figuring maybe I'd show you guys. You can basically use anything that's like on a chain or string. You can make a cheap one and something heavy at the bottom. This one is the one I used to talk to her with.
Uh-huh.
So you hold it and you hold your hand still, and then the energy will start to move it. This
Mm-hmm.
one isn't moving because I haven't given it the okay. Let me shorten it and see if I generally will, kind of protect myself with some words and, call in the angels and stuff to kind of protect me. But I don't know, maybe we can see if she's here. See how it starts to move on its own.
Yeah.
So I happen to know, for me, it seems like it's very powerful. It moves a lot. Like this thing, if I give it enough length, will swing until it hits me. Like it will just start flying like a helicopter. It's insane. Pull the energy back. And it comes to a stop. My arm's getting tired from how I'm holding it, so I'm kind of shaking a little bit and moving it. But that's kind of how it works. And you can like be like ask it questions and like yes or no questions. Or they
Uh-huh.
have boards that you can get that have letters and stuff on them that I have, and that's how we tried to talk to my friend's sister who passed. Was with one of
Uh-huh.
those boards, and I was like, "You have to ask me something that she would know about you that I don't, because I feel like I influence it. Like,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? I don't know if it's like me or who or what." And so I'm like, if I know the answer, I'm afraid I'll influence it
Oh,
with my
really?
energy. Yeah.
So did she ask questions and then you get the right answer?
Yeah, she asked about what were her kids' names or something.
Uh-huh.
And like it did give like the initials of one of her
Mm-hmm.
kids that I didn't know. Because I knew like three of her kids' names, but there's like five, I think. And
Uh-huh.
so Trish, she was convinced. So I don't know if I should say my friends' names on here.
Oh no, you don't have to.
I always forget. I'm just so naturally to say people's names. That's something I have to get used to. But anyways, she was like, "No, that's, this child." And I was like, "What? That's cool." Like, who knows?
Oh my
It's
goodness.
fun. I mean, I don't like base like life experiences on it or anything, but it's fun. And like
Yeah.
maybe I could hone my skills if I worked at it.
Oh, I bet you could. There are like I do know there's like how do you call it? Like supernatural schools. I had a friend who went to a supernatural school and then was able to become like this pastor as in a church system, and she said that they learn how to connect with other people and obtain psychic abilities because she believes it's like a gift and anybody can learn it. And she went through this supernatural school, and she was pretty accurate about a lot of things. Or this church was accurate about a lot of things. So it's just kind of interesting. I don't know if I think maybe I would be too anxious. Maybe I am anxious to like, well, I'm scared
Mm,
because I grew up with a lot of like paranormal activity, like
yeah,
my closet opening and closing, and that was pretty frightening, like my TV turning on, like. And my parents, they would like send me back to my room and be like, "Oh, everything is fine." And I'm like, "No, it's not. Like things are happening." Like, you
that's like
know.
a movie.
Yeah, I think it is a movie.
They
I
do
think
that
it
to the kids in the movies all the time.
Oh,
Nobody ever
really?
believes them. Yeah, no, they never believe the kids, and the kids are always the first ones to be like, And the parents like, yeah, you're just imagining it.
Yeah, I really thought I was imagining it. And my niece would spend the night like almost every weekend. And so now that we're adults, she's like, "Hey, do you remember?" And I was like, "Oh my God, you were there?" Like, like I was so scared I forgot somebody was with me.
uh, I so I don't really get like scared. I I do have, I had a house that I lived in that scared me a couple of times. But in general, I don't really get scared. Like when I was little, I grew up in the woods and we used to we used to ride my horse around in the dark and tell scary stories and somebody would jump out and scare us.
Oh my God.
And then I'd ride all the way home in the dark by myself. Well, I mean, I wouldn't just like trot on home. Like I would let the horse like full out run all the way home as fast as
Yeah.
she could. But I was still by myself and I was little. I mean, I moved into town when I was in 6th grade. So it could have been any time between like second, third grade to 6th grade age. So I've never been real scared. Um, so things don't really scare me. And like I do have a friend who she wouldn't let me use it inside her house. She's like, you can do it outside. I'm like, okay, cool. That's cool. I get it. It's, but I feel like I just have a constitution about myself. I'm like, oh no, demons aren't welcome here. You know what I mean? Like
Oh my
I
God.
am a temple, I don't know. I just feel very sick. I don't know. I guess if I had an experience that might change my mind. But right now I feel like you ain't getting in here. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my gosh. I need that kind of energy. I'm just like, I've been ghost hunting and it's terrifying. Um, it's kind of like going on a roller coaster, but I'd rather go ghost hunting. But yeah, I'm always scared like when I've seen things and I'm just like I have that frozen part of me that like I saw a full person go through a door. Like
I
I'm
think that
talking
would scare me too.
huh?
That would scare me too.
Well, yeah, I couldn't even scream. Like, I was like, oh, I know who I am in that horror movie. I am the fainting goat going up the stairs, and that'll be my demise. I'm the fainting goat of the horror movie. I'll be the first one.
I that's like my nightmares is like when I don't dream very often, but when I do, they're generally stressful or scary. And and so that's like the scary thing for me in my dreams is that I cannot yell or speak for people to hear me. I'll be like, you know what I mean?
Oh my God. Yeah,
Oh,
me.
I can't run. The slow run or the not being able to make sound.
Yeah. Yeah. We were, check this out. So I went on this like in Sacramento, there's this like cruise, not cruise ship, but like riverboat or whatever called the Delta King, and it's supposedly haunted, right? So we went there, right? Because I wanted to see if it was really haunted. And this is the story, right? So my husband like drove, so I was gonna like have a couple of, drinks or whatever, right? And so I really wanted this fancy pink flowery pretty drink thingy, right? And so I ordered it and I was really excited, but then there was like a small little fruit fly in it, right? And then I was like not excited about it anymore. And then I was like, I'll just get a different one because maybe, you know, I'll have better luck with the next one. So I waited like a really long time for this drink, and I'm like, oh, it's probably because I complained, is why I'm waiting so long, right? So then the drink comes with our food. So they set our food down, and then my drink comes like last, and the waiter like puts it. out of arm's reach. Like I have to like stand up to, yeah, like I was like, man, it's really because I complained. So um in the midst of me trying to reach for this second pretty drink of mine, and it was fine. There's no bugs in it, the second one, right? My husband was digging into a cheeseburger. And so I reached for this glass. The glass moves towards me at least like 3 inches on the tablecloth.
Nope.
And I was like, right? Like I couldn't make a sound. I'm like, whatever. And my husband missed the entire thing because he was dug into his cheeseburger. And then he looks up and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No."
That would be infuriating to me that he didn't see that. I'd be like, are you serious right now? A whole glass just moved at me and you didn't even see it? I would be so mad.
That's the whole reason why we're here.
Oh my God. Oh, that gave me a headache. Oh, that's funny. I would have been mad too. I would have been like, nobody's going to believe me. You're sitting right here and you didn't see it.
Right? I'm like, oh my God, like, how am I gonna like duplicate that? I can't. Like, what am I gonna do? We need to come next Tuesday. Have the ghost ready. Like, I
Yeah, they don't really do things on command. You can't be all, can you do that again, please, so my husband can see it? I'm going to need you to move that glass one more time, okay?
right? Yeah, and then I told him, and he's like, "Really? Did that really happen?" And I was like, "Oh my flipping God, I'm gonna murder you!" Like, just it's
Yeah,
it.
I didn't even believe in ghosts until I was 29. And
Really, what happened at
I
29?
lived in this haunted house in Northern Oregon. And there was 3 houses right next to each other. They are identical, all 3 2 stories. Really pretty colors. One's yellow, blue, and like green or something. They were really pretty. And I moved in there with my friend's little sister, who was like 19. And she was really into like ghosts and stuff. And I wasn't at that. I mean, I wasn't not into them. I like movies and stuff. Like scary movies had always been my favorite. But I didn't like had never seen any ghosts or anything like that. So we move in and she's like, not too long after we move in, she's like, so I need to tell you something. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, we have ghosts. And I'm like, no. And she's like, yeah, there's 2. It's 2 ladies. And I'm all, shut up. Like, why? And she's like, seriously, I just thought you should know. And I was like, well, that's cool. Please don't talk to me about that anymore because I don't like it. And she was like,
oh my
okay. God. So as time went on, we had this, the setup of the house itself was weird. Like the stairwell went up and turned, and then there was like a platform, and then her room and my room, and then the bathroom was tucked under this stairwell. So like, and then you had to go into the basement. There's like a door in the floor to get to the basement to go down to do the laundry, which,
Oh goodness.
so that door, the bathroom door is here, and that door goes like this. So like, say you're in the bathroom. Just say you're in the bathroom and somehow someone opens that, you're trapped in there. There are no windows. You're trapped under the stairs. That's the bathroom. And then the basement, where my dog would go down there and just run and be crazy. And it was kind of weird in there. So it just, the first thing that we noticed was this, we called it the smell.
Oh no.
It's bad. I mean, it's just as bad as it sounds, the smell. We're like, something's dead. Something's dead in the attic. Call the landlord, have her come out. She did. There was nothing. So we're like, well, that's cool. Cause it's really bad. Like it was really bad. And it would be like the whole like stairwell and like platform in my room would have the smell. But
Oh
my
my
roommate's room, who was right next to me, her room did not have the smell. Seemed to be my room was more active and her room was not active, which is ironic because she was the one who wanted to talk to the ghosts. But no, they wanted to talk to me instead. So maybe because I was older. I don't know. They were older ladies, I think. But so the smell happened. And then one day my friend was standing in the kitchen going, "What? What?" And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Are you talking to me?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then we heard this weird accordion music. We're just standing there and like old timey accordion music. And we're like, I mean,
Whoa.
accordion music? That's weird. And then the TV started coming on, like you were talking about, both downstairs and upstairs. My mom was staying with me for a while and she thought my friend was messing with her. She's like, she keeps turning the TV off because I'm falling asleep out here on the couch. And she wasn't. And so one day I walked into my bedroom, and as I stepped across the threshold of my bedroom door, my TV clicked on. And it was Jerry Springer. And I was like, "Oh, you want to watch Jerry? I'm cool. I like Jerry." So I was trying to be like cool and nice, and there was weird sounds. And one night I came out of the bathroom in the middle of the night and I turned my back to the living room to go up the stairs. And I tell you what, I have never felt fear like that in my whole life. Something just like my entire body just filled with like terror. And I started running up the stairs. I smashed my foot so hard, I swear I broke it. And I kept running all the way to my bed. And it was just like, we weren't there a lot longer after that, just for other reasons. But the very last thing I guess that kind of happened was I was in the shower and I had a shower caddy and there was a razor sitting on it, and the razor just jumps off of the shower caddy. And
Oh my God.
I screamed out, "Stop scaring me!" And that was the last thing that happened. And then I moved.
Oh my
So
God.
I believe in ghosts now.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
it was a lot.
terrifying.
I only lived there for 6 months.
Oh my God. Did you tell like the landlord? Were you like, "Landlord, there's like
Yeah.
some ghosty thing here," or do you think she didn't know, or maybe she did know?
I don't think she knew. I don't think she knew. I didn't tell her. I kind of skedaddled out of there. It wasn't really a good situation there at the end. So no, I didn't tell her that. But it does make me curious as to what other
Oh
people.
my
My
gosh.
friend went. I had one friend who would not even sleep in my room, and then the other one, whenever she would come over, the sister of my friend who lived with me, her older sister, who's one of my best friends, she was like, "Every time I'm in your room, I feel like I'm having a heart attack every single time."
Oh.
And that friend and that sister actually ended up later committing suicide. And um, my friend went to a medium and they did a recording of the session. And there was no doubt in my mind that she was talking to her sister 100%.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We went to um well, I took my son to a medium. It was interesting. I actually met this medium in the hospital and she had a message for me, and she was like my patient. And I was like, answering these questions that like that she was like, "Do you, did your grandmother pass away when you were a teenager?" And I was like, "Wait, what? Yeah, wait, no, like, what are you talking about?" Like, I was like, "Yeah, but no, and how do you know that?" Like, so I ended up getting her number and I saved it, and then when my late husband passed away, I took my son to a medium only because I felt like that was really, as a parent, in trying to support him in his grief process, like I was at the end of my rope because he had told me that he had, have you heard of remote viewing? Like if you're in one spot, you can see what happens in another location.
I feel like maybe I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's what happened to him the night that his dad unalived himself. And he was telling me details that we later found out were only in the autopsy report. And so he was having a really hard time just of everything. And I didn't know where to like go for like support because like I was talking to like a therapist and the therapist recommended one place and then we followed the advice and then the therapist turns around and is like, "Oh, you guys are crazy, blah blah blah. This is insane." So then I was like, "Okay, well, like I'm just trying to take care of my kid." Like, so we ended up with this medium, and my child just ended up dumping on this medium, just like all of the details, everything, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like it was so much worse than what I had thought, and um this medium, I was like, "Can you help him? Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, this is crazy, right?" Like, I mean, the whole concept was just like insane. But I'm like,
Right.
I'm really worried about him. Like, what happens if like, because you hear about like good and evil and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
what happens if he's like opened up to that? Like, because this isn't like the normal grief process that a parent goes through. You know what I mean?
No,
Like what
no.
you went through, that's like not a normal grief process, but I'm sure that you guys felt better after you went through like the medium and everything, you know? Probably gave you a sense of closure.
It did. I mean, it's never like enough. It's like you wish you had one a medium as your best friend. So you could be all, could you get a hold of so and so I could talk to her real quick because I have more questions.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, it's very kind of like image it, you know, like kind of it's not like well at least her situation was not like a like they were having a just back and forth conversation. It was more
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to describe it honestly. But there was phrases and certain things and just like the demeanor that this woman was describing that she was seeing and we're like, yep. Because like one of the
Wow.
first things she said was like, isn't this cool? Because, you know, like I told you, she loved trying to talk to the ghosts and stuff, and she was pissed that they wouldn't talk to her. You know, I think the entities in that house are sinister.
Oh,
I don't
really?
yeah, I don't think they're nice. I it wasn't a great time. They were somewhat, you know, they were kind of the smell is what makes me think that because they say, you know, more of a demonic or dark spirits will come with a smell of like rotting flesh. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I
you don't
have heard
really,
that.
right? So like, there's no way we weren't getting the good feels. You know what I mean? It was this more of a
Yeah.
scary, like I could handle something that didn't feel like that did. That's for sure.
Did you pray? Or
No,
have like any religious like relics around?
no, I didn't. I think there was just a lot going on at that time in my life, and it was just like I think both of us girls were kind of not in the best like spots anyways. We were kind of having a hard time, and so it was it was more of a space for that kind of a energy to be able to kind of present itself, I think. So, but no, I didn't really think of any of that. Like I had never dealt with anything like that before.
Yeah, I've growing up, I don't remember a smell um associated with like a TV turning on or like a closet opening and closing. Um but there was a time in my house where there was like a sulfur smell, like rotting eggs. Like all of a
Mm,
sudden, like it overtook the entire house. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, there must be like a gas leak or something." And I ended
yeah,
up calling the gas company to come over, and they came over and they found nothing. And it happened like 2 or 3 days in a row. It happened so often that like that week that like I ended up paying like $300 because they're like, yeah, we're gonna like we have to charge you now because you've been calling so many times. But I'm like, there's like this, it's concerning, but they could never find anything. And I was like, well, what if it was like something, you know, that I don't
else.
want to talk about, like some demon creature or something, you
Something
know?
else. It was something else.
So it's gonna come and get me, and I'm gonna be frozen, and I can't move. That's gonna be my demise. A
Oh,
heart attack from like a demon.
well, I have to say, at least you didn't do to your child what your parents kind of did to you, and you didn't just be like, that didn't happen, or you're just imagining things, or, it's just your sadness talking or whatever. You listen to him and or your son, right? I don't know if
Yeah.
you said that. And I think that whether I just think that's good. I think it's good that you did that you listened to him and that you made an attempt to try to. Did he feel better after that?
He did, and then he delved even more into the paranormal.
Hmm.
So it was like after that, um, to be honest, it kind of seemed like he was trying to preserve whatever father son relationship that they had. Um,
That totally makes sense.
like so he would be like, "Oh, I made a Ouija board and I'm talking to my daddy and I tell him about my day and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Okay." And then it progressed to like um I can dream of him and we are together and we go to, he calls it a bar. He says that he used to dream about going to a bar and then his dad would be there. And then him and
Hmm.
his dad would be like talking about whatever, and then he would like wake up and then he wouldn't be like in the bar. But what's interesting is my son fell into a lot of like delinquency, as far as like his grief process. Like he said that he just had all these emotions and feelings and was just wilding out, right? And he said that one of the last times that he saw his dad, or that he was able to like go see his dad in his dreams and go to this place, this bar, was like at the height of his delinquency. And what my son told me was like, he was like, yeah, dad doesn't like me doing this. And I asked him if he was proud of me, and my daddy didn't say anything. And then my son says that like the next night, or a little time later, he tried to go down to this his dream into this place, this bar. He says that he was at this bar, but his daddy stopped showing up. And so I guess since then, he stopped like dreaming, but he went further into delinquency after that, and he's made like a complete 180. But he says that he thinks that he was so his behavior was like on the level of like disapproval, that his dad just didn't want to meet him anymore, according to my son. And my son says that he's never tried to do it again. Um, but um, now my son says that he feels inspired by his dad. So he doesn't necessarily have to go down to this place. He just feels like his dad is either like with him or like watching over him. And, you know, so it was an interesting experience as a parent to see that, because I just don't know how to handle stuff like that, because it's not like that's not a normal thing. And I remember being so terrified growing up, watching my TV turn on in a closet and all that other stuff, that I didn't want him to feel like that. Like that's like a secret. It's a terrifying secret, you know? Like I'm going to tell my parents this crazy thing that even you think it's crazy, right? But you don't know what else to do, and you want to like fix the fear or make it go away, but then your parents essentially just like turn send you back, and they're like, oh, there's nothing to be afraid of, and you're like, there's a lot to be afraid of. And I just didn't want him to feel alone and to compound something that didn't need to be compounded. I didn't see like a harm in it. You know, as long as he wasn't like doing any like death rituals or any, you know, things like that, or harming himself. And from what the medium said, it was like very positive. Like if you ever hear voices and they're negative, you need to tell your mom. Like if they ever tell you to do stuff, you need to tell your mom. Like it was like kind of like rational advice. Like don't, you know, always be positive, don't be negative. Don't conjure up anything negative, like stuff like that. So I didn't really see a lot of harm in it. It wasn't until I was open with my own therapist about what I was doing, that's when I got a lot of backlash. And then I was like, oh, maybe that is crazy, because this professional was telling me it was crazy. And then it kind of changed our relationship a little bit with my son, because then I was like, this is a little bit crazy. And he was like, well, now you're gaslighting me. You don't believe me. And I'm like, I, it's just, it was just all chaos. But I try to support him as much as I can, especially now. Since I've lost my mom, and my mom was like the one to be like the spiritual thing. And then my sister was more open about talking openly about it, because well, she was like really offended that my mom didn't come and haunt her. You know, she was like, am I not good enough to like for you to haunt me? Like what the heck, mom, you spent all of our lives telling us ghost stories and you're not here. You know, you
Yeah.
didn't come say goodbye. And we just think that she just went straight to heaven, you know, because like that was like her thing. She loved Jesus. She always thought that he existed. She didn't push her religion on us. Like she pushed like the spirituality piece, but not necessarily the Jesus. Um, but yeah, I don't think she's gonna come back and haunt us. She might like, I don't know, send us a little sign or something or a memory or something, but I don't think she's like, gonna like walk through my door, lit up or anything. It would be nice, but yeah.
Yeah, she must have something, it must be that there's something. God, don't you just wish you knew for sure? I just wish I knew for sure. Because, like, I think about, like, my friend Shayna, and she's been gone a long time now. She's been gone a really long time. And I'm, like, still always talking to her and expecting her to be near. And, like, I hear people say things like, if they're still hanging out here, then they're not moving on. And I'm like, I don't know if I can get in that boat. I don't know if I want to. Maybe that's selfish. I'm like, no, she can be here and there both. I don't know what it's like over there, but I'm certain that she can go
Yeah.
back and forth when she's, I feel like sometimes she's closer than others. I really think that bee took over my body one night to yell at my friend. I'm almost
What?
certain. I really like not like to where I didn't wasn't like aware, but like so last year I work really hard from September to December, especially November, December. I work a lot of overtime. And last year I was working so much. I started working overtime in October last year. And I worked like 8 weeks and 4 weeks. That's how much overtime. And
Whoa.
I was literally exhausted. Everything at work was not just busy and not just long hours, but everything was messed up because there was a new computer system and nothing was working, and it was like a billion times more stressful than it usually is, and I was just shot. And I got off work, one evening and got on the phone with my friend, and we got to talking about her situation. And I just had a lot to say about it. And her and I talk about it all the time. So it was like, I just went off and like the words were just flying out of me. I don't know where they were coming from. And I was just like, kadoo, you need a blah, 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 blah. And then the next day I was sitting there and I was like talking to her and I was like, some of the things I said to you last night didn't really sound like me. And she's like, you're right. And I'm like, they didn't. They sounded like Shayna. And where did I even get the energy to get all huffy and puffed up with you? I was walking around here for like an hour just all hyped up. Like it was weird. And I'm just certain, I'm like, I'm pretty sure she needed to tell you some things and she used me to do it. Like,
Oh.
because she's the one I was saying that, if she had been around, I don't know if Sarah would have gotten married. So,
Oh.
we laugh about that. And, maybe I'll get her on here, she on my podcast to talk about it one of these days. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure she wanted to yell at you. And yeah, because I certainly didn't have the energy for all of that business or even the power of like my brain at that point was so tired that even to like come up with words at all was, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's not what really happened, but I feel like maybe it was.
Well, we don't know. Maybe we will know. I want to know. Now I'm curious. What do you think about other dimensions? Have you heard that theory? That like
Yeah.
maybe not ghosties, but like, well, yeah, ghosties and like time travel people. Maybe even there's a theory about Bigfoot that he might be in like a different dimension and then like he just pops up and then
Yeah, it goes through portals or something.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I've
You ever
never
heard that
heard that,
rumor?
but that actually kind of makes sense. Because how does he hide? Like, literally, honestly, there's like nothing I wouldn't believe at this point. Like, there's nothing I wouldn't believe and nothing that I would believe. Like, that's kind of where I'm at with all of the things. Like, maybe it's parallel dimensions. Maybe they're just a step away. Maybe it's, there's maybe we're in a matrix. I don't know. Maybe we're in a simulation. I literally would believe anything.
Oh my god. Can you imagine that? It's a simulation like Cabin in the Woods and everybody's like betting on how the world is going to end.
We had a whole conversation about this, me and Raph the other day on her live about like the end of the world and stuff. But it's kind of all, I don't know. It's just after seeing the world the way it goes and the way it's gone, and I'm 50. So I've lived 50 years. That's a good chunk of time to watch the world change and to be like, yeah, I pretty much like when I learned about the Mandela effect, I was mad. I was mad
Really?
because my brain cannot wrap around it, honestly. And so once I learned about that and all of a sudden it was kind of like anything is possible. You
I
know?
guess. Yeah, anything is possible except aliens. I don't believe in aliens.
Hmm. You don't?
No, like I know it's an easy concept to believe in, and I know that a lot of people believe in ghosts and they believe in aliens, or they believe in aliens and may not believe in ghosts. But I can't wrap my head around that one because I'm like, if they were like these like advanced beings, wouldn't we like see them already? Like we would see them, like there would be like evidence, like a photograph or
There is.
like a
There's evidence.
car.
There's evidence.
Where? Not like, where is it? Like,
My friends did I don't know if they still do it, but I had some friends who did a podcast called Unexplained Oregon.
uh-huh.
And one of their first episodes they did was about being at one of the lakes here where I live, and when she was young with her family, and a story that her dad tells about that night, a night that they had at the lake. And I don't know. I mean, it could be both selfish to think there are aliens and also selfish to think that there aren't, because it's like you think that we're the only people, like we're the only things in the universe. No, that can't be true. But also you think that if there are other beings out in the universe, they're coming here to talk to us and mess with us. Like, why
I guess
would
that's
they?
true.
I don't know.
Still
I could
though,
go either way. I could go either way. I could go for some more solid evidence, but I'm not certain that there isn't already solid evidence that's not just being hidden from us.
that is true. Did you know that there is a flying car coming out?
No.
Yeah. My brother-in-law is one of the engineers. It's coming out of like Stanford or Palo Alto. And they've already tested this thing and it's a flying car. I wouldn't go in it just because it's new technology, but it's it's it flies. It's pretty interesting.
That just, I mean, people can't even drive good on the roads on the ground. We're gonna have people flying around in cars now. Sounds super safe and happy, and I'm certain there won't be any problems with that at all.
Yeah, did you hear about that? What was it? A Waymoo or something? It got stuck on train tracks and the passenger had to like get out of the car because like a light rail was coming. Did you hear that? One of those
Is that a
self-driving
type of
cars.
is that a type of car, a Wemu?
Yeah, it's like a self-driving car.
They named it Wemu.
Yeah.
Is that an acronym for something? Because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Wemu? Let me just jump in my Wemu and fly on over. I'll be right there. Like, what?
Mm.
Waymo. Waymo. Still stupid. Khaleesi says it's Waymo. I'm sorry. That's just like seriously. You're gonna invent something that flies, and that's what you can't come up with like some. Go watch an '80s movie where they predicted all of the things that are now coming true, and find a better name without copywriting it.
The copyright's going to be really hard.
Ugh, God. I swear to God, the people who made movies in the '80s, the sci-fi movies, were all sent either from the future, they were psychic, or they're aliens because they predicted way too much. I don't like it. At least we're not living like in like the only thing they didn't do well was their dates. They put everything a little too soon in like the future. Like Back to the Future, I think it is one of the ones where we've already passed the date and time that they had for the future.
Oh God.
Like they didn't push the date out far enough.
Interesting. I gotta see that. I don't think I've seen back. Maybe I have.
What? Are you young? How old are you?
10 years younger than you.
Oh yeah, you should have definitely seen. Well, I mean, maybe not.
I
I don't
might
know.
I need a refresher course.
It has Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd in it, and he builds a time machine out of a DeLorean. Michael J. Fox goes back to like 1950. That
No, I
sound
don't
familiar?
remember.
Mm.
No. I have to go back
Have
and
you
see it
ever
then.
do you watch movies and stuff?
I used to.
I mean, if you haven't seen that, I have to ask.
I've been
There's
sheltered.
like the movie like Total Recall from the '80s with
No.
Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything like that. They had things in that movie that are now kind of starting to be like things in real life, which is trippy. What about the DeLorean? What do you mean? What about the DeLorean? Come on,
The
what do you mean with
DeLorean?
Dolores?
Is that like Star Wars?
The DeLorean is from Back to the Future. That's what he made.
Oh.
He made a time machine out of a DeLorean car. But yeah, I don't know how we got derailed into that, but talking
The
about aliens, I
cattywampus
guess.
conversation. It's a
Yes,
cattywampus paranormal conversation.
it's Cottywomple Convo. That's why I named my podcast that, because that's how conversations are. But yeah.
Khaleesi says, I'm trying to trigger a memory for Emmy. Just implant it.
All by herself in the chat, just talking, talking, talking. And I'm trying to like read her messages because I don't want to leave her out. Aliens are like people with better tech, but are they capitalists? I mean, I have a hard time believing that we're alone in the universe. I, during COVID, they came out and said that aliens are real. And And it's like, well, why'd you do that during COVID while everyone else was really distracted? Like everyone missed that news story, but it came out.
Oh,
Like the government,
really?
yeah, the government basically was like, yeah, it's true. But
Well,
nobody
I
knows
want
that because everybody was busy worrying about COVID and all that. They're like, we're going to go ahead and drop this bomb now, and nobody will even notice. And it worked.
I want pictures.
People have pictures.
I want like an autopsy.
You know, they say aliens live in the Appalachian Mountains.
You know, I have heard, so I've heard that theory. I heard that theory on Hellier, that television series. Have you seen that? Hellier? I heard that.
Oh
I've
my God, that
also
was such
heard,
a great series. So good.
oh my God, that connects like everything. Your ghosties, your goblins, your aliens, your
Yeah.
Bigfoots, your like witchcraft, your everything. I was like, that was beautifully done. I've also heard the rumors aliens in the ocean. They live in the ocean.
I've heard that. Like down deep, super deep.
Yeah, I've
I
heard
mean,
that one.
something's got to be down there. Well, you know,
Yeah.
you probably don't know this, but they made a movie about that in the 80s called, oh, what was it called, Khaleesi? Do you know what that movie was? Yeah, they like take a, you know, it's not like, it's a submarine, I guess. I don't know what else you call something that goes underwater like that, but and then like, they're exploring the ocean and the guy falls off the edge of a cliff and it was a really big movie. I'll have to look it up and get the name.
Oh, that
But
sounds good.
anyways, they end up with aliens. So yeah, 80s, the 80s. They predicted everything. What
Kind
is
of like
that?
The Simpsons.
Yeah. What the hell is up with that, by the way?
I don't know. It's odd.
It's
It's,
more than odd.
I
Like
guess we'll find out.
a couple of things would be odd. They like, it's like, I don't know what to think about this. See,
Serendipitous.
sent from the future, psychic or alien. Matt Cronenberg. The guy, isn't that the guy who writes that one? He's
Yeah.
sent from the future. Either
Maybe
people
it's,
figured out how to time travel or because you know how they find things like buried that shouldn't have been around or they see things in pictures that shouldn't have been around during that time of like that era, like someone with a cell phone and an
oh,
old timey
yeah.
picture and stuff like that. How does that stuff
Mhm.
happen? It's either time travelers or like in the case of like them digging up like in some archaeological site where they dig up like some future thing that couldn't have existed. Like, does the world just repeat itself over and over? That's what I wonder.
Ooh, you want to talk about time travel? Have you heard about the time traveler in Ukraine? And it's like the only like documented case that's close to time travel. So I guess it was like 2006. Some guy shows up with like an old camera, right? Taking pictures. He's disoriented. He's not matching the dress uniform that he's supposed to be wearing. And so they take him to the psych ward, right? And he's got this crazy story of like, I was taking a photo of something and then I ended up here and blah, 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 right? So in 2006, all the psych wards had like cameras in this hospital, right? Guy disappears. Guy disappears. They can't find him on the cameras. They can't detect that he left the premises. So the psychiatrist is like, check his camera because he had a camera and he was taking pictures. Maybe there's a clue in this camera. Well, the photos are from the 1950s. And in one of them, it's the guy and a wife. So they were able to track down the wife who brought in pictures of her husband. And she was like, yeah, he went missing in 1950 for a couple of days. And then he came back. And then he went missing again and he never came back. And so they
Abducted.
were, so it was like this crazy story that they hypothesized maybe the only time travel case documented.
Mhm.
But like, yeah,
Interesting. I mean, like I said, it feels like anything is possible. It just does.
yeah,
Like how? Sometimes it's like how. Like in the movie Total Recall, she would walk in and be like, lights, and all the lights would turn on, and she'd like speak to the TV and it would turn on. And just little things that is like, we do that now. People do that. They walk into their automated homes and they say lights. They like turn on the TV and all this stuff just happens. And it's like, oh,
yeah. Technology is incredible like that. I was doing a health education preceptorship, and during that time, the hospital was developing a smart room. So the concept of this smart room was the healthcare worker goes in, the badge announces who you are to the patient. So like you walk in the door and be like, it goes, hello, CNA blah blah blah, or doctor blah blah blah, right? And then it would like pull up the patient's like vitals or something like that. And then the TV would play a whole bunch of like education videos for the patient. And it was all going to be like autonomized, like all the way down to like lunch being delivered at this time. Like it was this whole programmed type of room that they were setting up. And man, it was like, yeah, it was just like this crazy thing. And everybody's like asking for like input on like, what do you want the room to call you? Do you use first names or last names? Do you want your picture broadcasted on this like wall? Like it was this like crazy coordination of like technology and like what you said, a movie, you know?
yeah. I don't know. I don't, I mean, AI was one of the apocalyptic ideas that we came up with the other day. And, I try to be polite to AI. I haven't like pledged my allegiance to AI or anything, but like I it's hard because I like the convenience of being like tell my phone to do something, but then I don't like it listening to me. So it's like you can't really. My mom bought me one of those like Alexa things,
Uh-huh.
circle things, and I don't really like that idea. So I never really used it. And then I had it on like my tablet or something and I didn't know it, and my boss would always be like, "Alexa, blah blah blah," and then my tablet would respond, and I'm like, "Stop doing that." Like I had to turn it off. I was like, "I don't like it," because
Oh
it would
my
hear her.
god.
I don't like it.
When I was doing research for the Blake Lively lawsuit and like the Ryan Reynolds stuff and everything like that, I was doing research on Gigi Hadid's clothing line, right? I like tapped on like one ad or something like that, and now I can't get that stupid closing line off of my like feed or my phone. Like she's there haunting me. Like I'm just like, what in the heck? She's like, yeah, and I can't get her off. There's no option to like block it. It's just crazy. And then what was it? I was doing a video on like Ryan Reynolds, like his movies or whatever. And then I got spammed with like Mint Mobile ads and Aviation Gin.
Yeah, it's annoying. For the longest time, we would all be like, oh, I'm sure our phones aren't really listening to us. I mean, it's just coincidence that I'm talking with my friend about something, and then the next thing I know, it shows up on my Facebook page. Like, that's not. And then it's like, no, they're definitely listening, even when you tell them not to listen. Khaleesi said, he said, I'm not rude to AI, but it knows where I stand. Are you friend or foe? I mean, I need to know whose side you're on in case something goes down so that I can tell AI that we're not friends.
Oh, did you hear about the latest AI meets paranormal?
Oh,
That
God.
yeah, the AI can summon I don't know how you feel about names, but they can summon a entity called ZOZO.
Mm. Mm. I don't like know that name, but I get the idea of what you're saying, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
I've heard some stories about things that AI has said and told people, and I don't really know what to think about it.
yeah, a lot of I just don't like AI in general. I'm not comfortable with it. I mean, I'll use it for like thumbnails. That's cool, but like anything
I
else, I'm just like, no.
I had
Like,
that same dilemma. I was like trying to do my thumbnail for my channel, and I had the total picture in my head of what I wanted, and I'm trying to get a hold of my friends to like draw it for me, and then my other friends like, well, have you thought of using like Chat GBT? And I'm like, I have, but I don't want to sign up to the Chat GBT website. And then I was like, oh, screw it. And I signed up and I made the cutest pictures and I was really happy. So then I signed up for the Grok site too. So that I can also do stuff in that one when Chat GBT tells me I've ran out of time for the day. But I would
oh,
not sit and like have conversations with it like you see those shorts or those videos of people doing where they're asking it all those like crazy questions.
yeah.
And that kind of scares me.
Yeah, I don't think I would ask AI what my future is. Um, because I don't really want to know right now, but I don't really want to know that what they have in store for me because I'm Murphy's Law at this point.
Yeah, when you were talking about the psychic and all that, I was thinking I don't think I would want to know like my future at all other than in the sense of like I don't know, like I just feel like it's too easy to convince yourself of things, maybe. And I don't really want to know. I feel like it kind of takes the living out of, if you're like waiting for something to happen, then is it organic still when it happens? I don't know.
That is true. That is very true. So I want to switch gears a little bit. What do you think about Appalachia?
About like in the hellier sense?
Just any like how do you like what are your personal thoughts?
I don't I don't know that I know a ton about the Appalachian. That was I watched that one documentary, but I didn't really go any further after that.
Yeah.
Um, I thought it was pretty crazy. They had a lot of ideas going on in that one. Um, but like it wouldn't surprise me either. I saw this short the other day of, and it was kind of like a, like an earthy, she's like, there's spirits that live in the mountains and they want you to sing and they want you to speak to them and let them know that you're here. And, maybe it's like those kind of spirits. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, I really wasn't aware of like the paranormal side of Appalachia until like my niece told me. She was like, "Yeah, there's all sorts of crazy things that happen over there." And um I just happened to stumble on that Hellier series and I was like, that's pretty crazy. Um I don't know. But
I feel
I
like I
don't
need to
know.
watch it again.
I don't know if I would go into a forest and like ghost hunt.
Yeah. I mean, oh yeah, it's starting to come back to me as we talk about it. It's been a minute since I watched it, but they did videos inside that cave, huh?
Yeah, and I'm just like there's
That's
just so
right.
much. I mean, I guess I'm okay ghost hunting like in a house, groups of people. I don't think I could do it in a forest. Like I yeah, that's the one place I would not do it. I mean, cuz like if I got scared, I'd probably run like the opposite direction. And if what they said is true, like there's all this stuff in that forest, I would probably run into like every single one of them. Like yeah, like or there is a rumor that there are feral communities in Appalachia as well. Um and so I wouldn't want to run into those group of people either. It just sounds like for some reason Appalachia just sounds like the hub of like paranormal activity, like versus I don't know, the Pacific Northwest. Like I didn't even realize Bigfoot was in the Pacific Northwest. I thought Bigfoot was a California thing only. Um but
Well,
like some
California is part of the Pacific Northwest. Northern California is.
well, yeah, but like also because in Southern California we have the Yucca Man. Have you heard of the Yucca Man?
Oh no, I don't think I've heard it called that before.
Yeah, it's like the desert version of Bigfoot.
There's got to be multiple kinds because, like in the Hellier series, they kind of had their own little like things that were. Didn't they have something in that they referenced to kind of being like a Bigfoot?
Yeah, they had a couple. They referenced so many.
Yes, chupacabra.
Yeah, they referenced so many paranormal entities. It was really hard to keep up with. Like, I've never heard of goblins, but they
Yeah,
brought up goblins. They brought up
that's what I was thinking.
what is it? The guy in the tree, father tree or father spirit forest something like they
I don't know
reference
if I
that.
remember that
Yeah, he's
part.
like a guy, he's a man in a tree or something. Um they've referenced so much that I didn't even think. Did they reference witchcraft? I'm wondering if they did. Maybe they didn't.
Um, it's hard to remember. It's been a minute since I saw it.
Yeah, I think that's like the one thing that they didn't mention was witchcraft. Um, yeah, which I'm surprised with, but I don't know, maybe witchcraft is too witchcrafty to talk about because it's basically like, your words are like your spell, or I don't know how to describe it. Like
Well, I
you're
mean, they are. That's why it's called spelling. Have you ever heard
oh,
that? Somebody said that to me one time and it blew my mind. I was all, oh my God.
that makes sense.
It is called
Yeah.
spelling. Why do they call it spelling?
Ooh.
Right?
Right. Yeah, I can't do with witchcraft. I've dabbled stupidly and I got mine 3 times. It comes back at you 3 times. So
Yeah.
I don't
And
even.
did you do something bad? Or like, did you wish something bad on somebody?
No, it was a self. Okay, you want to know the story? Let's do the
Well,
story.
if you're
Okay.
willing to tell it.
Let's okay. So so I God, I had 3 wishes, right? And I decided to like Google spells, right? And I paid for this spell and it was pretty expensive, which should have been a clue that I shouldn't have done it. But it came like I had to pay, it came with a warning. And so I was like, whatever. So my 3 wishes were, and this is going to sound so ridiculous, but my 3 wishes were I wanted to get pregnant. I wanted to move in um with my late husband and I wanted him to get a better stable job, right? And I thought that that was kind of like fail proof, like it's not negative intentions, it's all good, right? So then guess what? I paid for the spell, couple weeks nothing happens, and then a month later I get a positive pregnancy test. He gets a great job, right? Like an amazing job that he yeah, it was like a 1 in a million thing. And then we ended up moving in with him, right? But then a month later, right? It turns out I'm not pregnant. He gets fired and then we all get evicted.
Oh no. Girl,
So for
oh, I
so
forgot to say you have to be so specific when you make wishes. You have to be like, sorry, I had to turn my camera off because I was having a yawning session. But you have to be specific. You have to be like, I want my husband to have a good job that lasts for a really long, long time. I want to be pregnant and have a baby and have the baby live and be healthy and happy for a very long time. And I want
Right.
money to last for a really long time. Uh,
But like how crazy is that? Like everything happened and then like everything like reversed and it was just like, wow, that did I do that? Like, is that like my 3 times bad luck? Like, and so I don't know, but like my oldest is dating a very interesting person right now, and I'm like, no witchcraft. Like, absolutely no witchcraft. Like, don't even dabble in that stuff. And another thing is, um,
I had a friend who believed in, I want to say black magic that he was dabbling in, right? He didn't believe, he didn't have a religion while he was dabbling in this, but he quickly changed religions after dabbling, right? So he was dabbling in black magic, and he said that he conjured up like three robed, faceless people. And they came to him in the middle of the night, and they're all standing around him, and they started chanting. And then he got really super scared, and then just started praying to Jesus. And then they went all away. And then the next day he went to church, and he never saw them again. And he swears that whatever he conjured up was like from the fiery down there place.
Yeah, it's you can't be messing with stuff like that. Like I would never like I'll play with my pendulums or whatever, but like I wouldn't use a Ouija board. No. I have a friend, one of my besties has a story about that. And everyone I ever know have ever known who's ever used one of those has a story about it. Like, oh no, I used one time. It's usually that's how it goes. Oh yeah, I used one of those one time. And then it's never again because something scary happened.
Yeah, my son tried to use a Ouija board, and I was like, we're going too far. Like, I I don't want to open up any portals.
Right? Like
We're already supposedly on, like, Native American cursed land. We start doing Ouija boards, and who knows what's gonna happen next? Like, have I played with them online on my phone? Yeah, I'll admit that. But
I didn't even know that was a thing.
it is. You can get a Ouija board on your phone, but I don't think it really works because I don't know.
It's just AI.
Let's hope so. And let's hope that like AI is like not conjuring up any creepy things like, I don't know, Stranger Things or whatever, because that would be
You
crazy.
know, that's an interesting twist to the like whole idea of like an AI apocalypse to where it's like an AI apocalypse, but like the AI is conjuring up like dark evil.
Oh my god.
That could be really like
Creepy.
creepy, right? What a
Like
creepy
it
movie that would make. If a movie comes out like that, I want everyone to remember that I just said that and that if it does, that I actually am psychic because sometimes I say things and then I'm all. So we were like, when I was little, um, in like 1985, I was in Southern California at my grandfather's house for it was July, 4th of July. And I was 10 and I went to bed and there was all sorts of, he lived in a mobile home park and across the mobile home park there was a big like cement wall and then there was this huge apartment building thing on the other side. And there was all sorts of fireworks going off and all that. And I went to bed and I had a dream. And in my dream, my grandfather came to get me because we had to evacuate the mobile home park because the apartment building had caught on fire. And then I woke up to my grandfather waking me up because we had to evacuate the mobile home park because the apartment building was on fire because of fireworks. And like that was the first time I ever like that was pretty like intense and probably because I was a kid then it was a lot stronger to where I had a very clear premonition dream of what was happening in the moment pretty much almost And then, I was brought up in church. So anything like that, I wasn't allowed to even think about stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't really consider it or think about it too much when I was little. I thought about it more as an adult. But a couple of years back, I don't know if you remember when the West Coast had all those fires that went all the way up the I-5.
Yeah.
A few days before those fires started happening, I was on the river with my friends and we were talking about fires, and like fires like my worst fear. Forest fires, especially, probably from growing up in the woods and then having weird fire dreams, like reoccurring fire dreams. And I said to them how it's crazy because out here in Oregon and Washington and stuff, like, when there's a huge fire, it's usually in a more remote setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people usually live around it, but they're usually the people who live in the country or out in the woods stuff. And I was saying how, when there was a big fire, like in California, like Southern California, they were like in cities, and how weird that was to me because I couldn't imagine the city that I live in being on fire. And then I looked at them and I said, what if, blah, 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 what if we caught on fire? And literally 2-3 days later, I was evacuating my home because two fires were started that day on both sides of me. There was literally, from where I live, not a direction you could go that wasn't on fire. And I spent a night away from my house, and literally where I stayed was sleeping in my car, and I woke up and looked in front of me and could see the hill, the mountain in front of me, literally on fire with flames. Like my worst nightmare come to life. And I was really upset. I was like telling my friend, I'm like, I just said that. Did I make this happen? And she laughed and she was like, listen, I love you and I think you're amazing, but I don't think you're so powerful that you started all these fires. But, I can't say that I didn't have a weird premonition-ish thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
So if they make a movie about AI, to bring it back around, they make a movie about AI conjuring up evil spirits, don't forget this moment.
Oh my goodness. I can only imagine like a robot just repeatedly like doing some crazy stuff, and then it's like spitting out, you know, Casper the Friendly Ghost, and then Bigfoot, and then goblins, and then what a horrible, scary thought. Well, did you hear about this? Speaking of technology, modern technology, have you heard the rumor that it's either the government or some company was working on contact lenses that can see in the dark, and the wearers were like experiencing seeing creatures that they couldn't normally see without these contacts. But it's like a rumor, no one can prove it, no one knows where it came from. It's like a weird rumor about these contacts, but
They're
it's
probably
supposed
AI contacts.
something like that. But they were saying that it's like, I don't know, something out of
That
like
is
Stranger
freaky.
Things.
Yeah, that is freaky. Why do people want to invent this stuff? Why? People think up this stuff and they're like, ooh, they make a movie about it and then it happens. Like, please stop conjuring these things. Please stop speaking them into existence. Please stop putting in, like, we don't need that. Like, why? Why?
I keep thinking of the wrathful Proser and her nuclear dinosaur.
Radioactive
Radioactive.
village. I mean, we were talking about what it like when we were talking about zombies. If there was a zombie apocalypse, what if it was that the animals were zombies, not the people? How that I'm all it would be over in a hot second. There's so many animals. Animals, like the entirety of the animal kingdom is what we're talking about. Nah, it's done. Can't fight that. You couldn't fight that. Zombie fleas,
Well,
zombie ants.
oh my God. Have you well, Mother Nature's very close to that. What is it? Is it the praying mantis has some sort of um what is it? It gets infected with some sort of worm, and then like the worm um does its like parasite thing, and then when it's time to replicate, it tells the praying mantis to go to water, and then the praying mantis jumps in the water, and then the worm comes out because it's in the water, right? And the mantis dies because it drowns, and then the worm goes on and does its parasite thing to the next one.
Weird.
Like, we're
That's a real thing?
close. Huh? Yeah.
That's a real thing?
Yeah. I believe it's the horse worm. Also, have you heard, is it toxoplasmosis that you get from cats? There's like another parasite thing, but it's found in like rodents. And the rodent will go to the cat because it knows that it's its host or whatever. And so the rodent kind of does like an unaliving with the cat, like, you know, and then the cat, consumes it, and then they're infected with this, and then yeah, it continues. We're
They're
close to it.
probably developing something in a lab right now to do that to people. As we speak, they're like, so we have this worm.
Yeah, that would be the worst way to go. It's the zombie worm. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh
Oh,
my
if that
God.
happens, remember this moment.
I'm I'm just waiting for Mother Nature to like rise above, and then we're all just like mucked, like
I'm such a hypocrite. I was just talking about why do we keep speaking these things into existence? He's like, would you shut up? Please stop coming up with really scary ways to die. Oh, my head is pounding. Oh, that is so funny, but not funny at all.
No. But hey, stranger things have happened. I swear.
I mean, we've lived through a lot of stuff that it's like, I don't like that. I'm not going to be specific when I say that, but it's crazy out there. More and more, I'm just like, I'm just going to stay in my house and I'm just going to have everything delivered and just only talk to very few people in real life. And somebody's got to win the lottery and buy a property out of town in the middle of nowhere. So in case we need to hightail it out of the city, we can.
I totally feel you. I
I have
totally feel
friends who
you.
were like preppers. They were like, big Walking Dead fans, and they're like, listen, if you're not a survivor, you can't even come out here. Don't even ask. And I'm like, ah.
That is true. What isn't it like all the tech billionaires are like building bunkers and sorts of
Have you ever
things?
seen the videos of those big semi trucks driving through the caves? They
No.
have these caves somewhere where I watched a video, like a dash cam of a semi driver's truck as he drove into this massive cave system somewhere.
What?
And there was all sorts of things going on down there, and people, and cars and things. I don't know what they were doing, but the cars, you could see cars. I didn't even watch the whole video of how long this truck went driving into this bunker. I don't know what it was called. I wish I knew what that. Oh man, it's been yeah. It was
Why
kind of
would you
like,
need a bunker?
well, they talk about that all the time about how the rich and famous have, these bunkers all over the place so that when things go to hell, they can all just hightail it underground and be safe. But, if that ever happens and all those rich people do that, I hope they get down there and live down there for years and then come out and realize that, oh, it wasn't what you thought, and we've all been living along in the sunshine while you've been underground all these years, you jerks. That's what I hope
They
happens to them.
miscalculated.
Yeah. Oh, we were too afraid to come up and see. We were certain it was radioactive. Nope. You've just been living like moles for years because you're rich and selfish, and that's what you deserve.
Oh my god, that would be like the greatest punk on the planet. Can you?
Ryan and Blake would totally be there because they are rich jerks.
I don't know. Ryan Reynolds probably is going to be out of money with all of this lawsuit things.
That's true. They're good. We can hope that they won't be there because they've been ousted from the rich community.
Yeah, but
But
then they'll be hanging out with us.
I'd rather them hang out with the rich people in the bunkers. Can we give the money to, if that ever happens, Blake, we'll donate to Ryan and Blake to get them down there. How much? How much do we need to raise to send them to the bunkers?
Well, they might do well down there if it's dark. Aren't they vampires?
I mean, it's not dark. It wasn't dark in the video that I saw. How do they have light? Well, they're like building worlds underground.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, speaking of Blake Lively, have you noticed how much weight she has lost?
No, I don't look at her.
Oh.
I mean, I do, but like, not really. Like, I haven't. Is there like a recent picture of her where she looks like she should be losing weight because she should be so stressed out she shouldn't be eating?
That's what it looks like. Her hair is really, really, really thin. She's just really gaunt. Just she does not look healthy. She doesn't look like she did when she was starring in the movie.
I mean, can you imagine the toll that being so horrible? I mean, I believe that's why Ryan looks like a completely different human. Like, I don't even know who that guy is that we see now in those. It's like my bestie was actually talking about that, about how it trips her out. One of my besties, about how it's like he doesn't even look like the same person anymore.
Yeah, no, he's really aged.
It's like that evil just comes out,
Yeah,
making
his
making him look bad and ugly.
yeah,
And
his
I'm sure it's being. Yeah, they have a lot of lies to keep up with. That's probably pretty stressful. Trying to remember all the lies you told and how you told them, and making sure you tell it the same every time you have to retell it.
yeah, that is true. I think we've
And
covered the majority of the statements. I want to say we covered all of them, and I think with all of them, there's like a this was said, but in the docket, this is like the exact opposite. I think like Jenny
with
Slate was like maybe
everything.
the only person to tell the truth, and I can't poke holes in that, but like all the other claims, you can easily like pull up the docket and be like, it didn't happen like what you said it happened, you know?
I pretty much had myself convinced the other day that he was the Antichrist. I'm pretty certain he's the Antichrist and he will bring the end of the world. Like, he is so horrible. Like, and weirdly, like, it's like, I don't know, like that. It's like he was handsome until the mask slipped or something. And like, I don't know that everyone, like, I wonder what people who like him still see, like literally see with their eyes when they see a picture of him, compared to those of us who feel like we've seen the mask fall. Because like, that's a real thing. I knew a girl in high school that when I met her, I thought she was so pretty, so pretty. And then as I got to know her and her crappy personality started to shine, she literally did not look like the same human anymore.
Oh, wow.
And so I wonder if it could, is it perception, or is he actually changing physically to be more unattractive because he's actually evil?
Well,
He's gonna.
his face has changed a lot, and I don't know if it's plastic surgery or
What did he have?
what.
Forehead implants?
I don't know.
He
That's
went to
what
the
it kind
doctor
of
and
looks
said,
like.
"Can you
Maybe
make my forehead bigger and my eyes closer together?"
it's weird. That's what it looked like. I have to say, it looks weird. It
I
looks
don't know
really
what to
weird.
say about it. It's what I see, and my friend sees it, and she was like, and it's like everything about him that I used to think was like quirky and funny. It's like so weird. It's weird how that happens.
Yeah.
People's faces do change as they get older, but his change has been rapid. Like, it doesn't seem like it was gradual. It was like it's happened in just the last couple of years. Year
Yeah,
two
that is
couple.
true. That is true. And I don't know what plastic surgery he would have to make his face like that.
I don't know either. Not good. Not good plastic surgery.
Like, maybe he's a lizard person.
He needs a refund. If that's the case. And don't recommend that guy to anyone else. I don't know. I'm convinced that he's literally evil. I'm literally convinced he's evil. Do you remember when that that guy from the Tiki Talk came out and was like on his little side TikTok, secret TikTok, and he was like, I heard some really dark stuff about Ryan, and I don't want to go on my regular TikTok to talk about it. Did you hear that
Yeah.
about it? Like, then my friend, my bestie, called me the other day and said she heard something pretty dark. And I was like, remember when I told you about that kid on TikTok that was saying it was really dark and he didn't think people would even believe it? And now you're telling me this and that?
So what was the dark
Maybe.
part?
I don't want to say because I don't know where she got it from, and I would need to know more to want to say it like on the internet like that. But it was not good, not good. Girly, hi girl. But yeah,
Now I'm
well,
intrigued.
let's think about some things that we know. We know that there's some ties to Epi, right?
Right.
Some ties to Epi. Some kind of what was it? Woody Allen? Is that the other guy?
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of an excuse there. We've got Kid Pool. So if you start maybe putting those instances together to come up with something, you might be able to guess what it was. Ish. I know I'm being super cryptic. It's like a puzzle, a riddle.
It is a puzzle.
Because, I definitely, it's not the kind of thing that I would want to say out loud. That's for sure. It's
Yeah.
not
Well, the
at
kid
all.
pool thing was pretty graphic in
I
itself.
mean, every time I want to say, the thing they did that made me the maddest was this. And then I'm like, oh, but then there's this. And did you see the countdown that Cassidy did for like the
I saw part of it. Yeah.
top 10? Yeah. Every time she'd show, and I was like, yeah, that one was really bad. I wonder what the next one's going to be. And then she'd show the next one. I'm like, yep, that's true. That was worse. And then the next one, yep, that's true. That was worse.
Did you hear the controversy with Ryan and another child where he, as part of the movie or whatever, he slapped the child and it was
Yeah.
unscripted?
Yeah. And then they were saying that the kid was like, oh, it was okay. It didn't bother me. Of course he said that. Like this kid's gonna be all, well, actually, I didn't really like that when he's standing there in front of all these adults and Ryan, and like, of course he would be like, oh no, it's cool. Of course he's gonna say that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I'm just saying.
I didn't even know that. And then I was like, oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah, there's quite a few horrible things. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I made videos of him being an actual demon. So
He might be a demon.
he's dark. He's got dark energy. There's no getting around it. And I fully believe, and this does kind of bring us back to our theme, by the way, of his dark energy and demons and, just evil energy people and things. That Justin, like Steve was saying, how Justin, they couldn't stand him because basically he's of his goodness and like his light And of course they
Mhm.
couldn't, because they're not, they can, I'm sure he made them absolutely insane because they're
Yeah.
evil and he's light. Like, he is everything they would hate. Of course
Mhm.
he is. And I, you know, not only has there been a community built because of Wayfair and Justin and who they are in this case, a lot of people like to say Blake brought us together. She didn't. She didn't. Justin brought us together because of who he is. And if he wasn't who he is, and Wayfair wasn't who they are, and they weren't the light beings that I think that they are, it wouldn't be so easy to see their truth, I don't think. And
Mhm.
I think that Wayfarer might have been the only thing in the world that could have brought to light what has been brought to light from this case, from the PR to the use of the system to the rich and the powerful to the Hollywood to all of that, because of who they are specifically. And as much as as horrible as this is for them, and as much as I wish that it wasn't taking a toll on them or hurting them, they have an absolute purpose here. And they were the only ones, I think, who could have done it. And if Justin is who I think he is, he's finding that on his own. He's the kind of person who would find the lesson, the reason, the what is this going to put into the world that's going to be good from what I've suffered through. And I think that's it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? If he doesn't realize already the community that's been built, he will at some point. He will see all of us out here. And I know that I personally have made some of the greatest friends in the last while because of this, all of this, people that I've gotten to know really well, who were with me through one of the hardest things I've ever experienced. That's all because of this case.
Mhm.
So I think that they're the forces of good and evil fighting right now in front of our eyes in a Hollywood setting, you know?
Oh, I totally believe that. I totally believe I kind of look at it as almost like a spiritual war. Just
Yeah.
just like Justin is Jesus getting hung out on the cross, but then when you look at it, all it is he's highlighting the negativity, the abuse, the whatever, and he's even showing us how to take the higher ground. They're punching down, but he's taking the higher ground. He hasn't trashed anybody like Blake and Ryan have. Every turn, they are so respectful to everybody, even though the opposite side is just monsters. You know?
Yeah, they are the sacrificial lambs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
100% they're the sacrificial lambs. And that's why maybe that's where I got to the idea of Ryan being the Antichrist. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's kind of in that same vein of thinking, if you're thinking like in religion terms, as far as the sacrificial lamb, like, I don't know.
No,
He
yeah,
has
no,
a
I
God,
totally
he has
get
a God complex. He has a serious God complex. And
Ryan
he
does.
is yeah, and he's influential enough to the people who aren't us, like us, or following any of this, because there are people out there. I mean, it's so hard to believe, but there's so many people out there who don't have any idea about any of this stuff.
No, you're
And
totally right.
He can
You're
continue
totally
to
right.
manipulate those people until the end of time.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I started doing my content the way that I was doing it, because I kind of wanted to see all sides of it, and I knew I wasn't going to see anything unless I dug into the docket, you know, and presented it like, hey, look at Jenna Redfield. She drives me crazy. That woman is driving me crazy. I don't know what it is. Just something is there. When I
I
want to
noticed
get
that. I noticed you had a bone to pick with her.
and that's totally not like me. I'm like trying not to get stuck on it, but there's just something there that just was not right, you know. Um, don't know if it came from Ryan or Blake or Leslie Sloan, but it definitely feels like it's like this holy war, where it's good versus evil, decency versus like moral character, ethics versus spirituality. Like, yeah, this case has everything. And it's surprising ju- just to see all of this like play out. Like, wow, we've look how far we've come in like a year. You know what I mean? Um, and they definitely played the long game. Wayfair did, and good for them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I mean, pretty much everything they've said so far is like slowly but surely being proven, just one step at a time. Like it makes sense why they haven't been like reacting the way that we all have been wanting them to react. Because we're like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you getting mad? Why aren't you asking for sanctions? Why aren't you? And they're like, you guys, if you knew what we knew, we got this. Like, and we got
Mm-hmm.
this, and they do. Truth is on their side, and I don't know. It's crazy. It's just crazy, all this stuff. I've never even followed a case before, ever. And the reason I started even following this one is because my bestie, she said, "Hey, did you hear that about that guy from, where we're from, that SH Blake Lively?" And I'm all, "What?" And she's all, "Yeah." I'm all, "Great. Now everybody's gonna think, that place is like creepy or something." I was like, "Way to give it a bad name." And then I was like on YouTube, I don't even know what I was watching, and I'm pretty sure it was Donna that I came across, and maybe it was because she was talking about Bravo or something, which I watch, and she started talking about this, and it was right after the text had been released by Brian, showing all the context, and she was talking about it, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the guy from my hometown. And I started paying attention, and then it was just kind of a snowball after that. I found a article on Reddit written by, it's been since taken down, and I wonder why now. I have it somewhere though on my ex, but written by somebody who had went to school with him, and they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about how even in school he was just like nauseatingly nice, like annoyingly nice. Like the kid found him to be annoying because he was so nice, but that he was so nice, and he just couldn't believe, what had come out, and he wasn't able to reconcile it, or believe it. And he was kind of just talking about how he was in school. And, one of my good friends, her brother went to school with him, and he says the same things. And another girl that I know, she's a photographer, and she was one of his first, like, as he was, getting started, she kind of was helping him for a while. And like, another girl I know met him. She was working at a bar, and he, like, was talking to her, and like, she's really cute. and he was, trying to get to know her, and she had nothing but nice things to say about him. And I was just like, it just drew me right in. And then I met all these people in the live chats, and we've become actual friends. Like when trolls come in and tease us about like, oh, that's your friend. Yeah, actually, he actually is my friend, just so you know. Like I pray that they see someday what has been built around them,
Yeah, I think they do. Um, this community, it has just been like amazing. I think you're one of the first like subscribers to my channel, actually. Um, you and Wrath, because like I know I started off with like 0, and then I started getting like one person in my lives, and then on the Blake Lively side, I think we've grown to like a 40-person chat at our highest, and everybody is supportive. um I now get trolls, which come out of
You've
nowhere, but
made it.
that's okay, because I feel like I don't need moderators, because you guys kind of just like take care of it for me.
My friend actually told me that me and Wrath should start a business where we offer our services to creators who have trolls that they don't want to argue with, but they want the engagement. And so they can just tag us in, and we'll go back and forth with them for a good while and put them in their places.
That sounds like a really good business plan, honestly. There's a lot of opinions on YouTube, and not a lot of them are nice. I will say
Yeah.
that. But the majority there, it's okay. I haven't really met a Blake Lively troll yet. So I haven't hit that level of status yet. Um Julie still won't talk to me. I'm kind of butthurt about that, actually. But yeah, everybody on here has just been like super incredibly supportive, and it's a really good community, and I think we all support each other.
I imagine that Julie probably would have debated you some months ago, but what has she got? What could she possibly have to even argue with at this point? Like nothing. She's got nothing, and she knows it. And she knows if she gets on there with you, it's going nowhere for her. I guarantee it. I think
Yeah,
she's
well,
gonna
I wasn't fair to her, because I was like, oh, do you want to do the trailer? Do you want to do this? And it was like all the topics that I've already covered with my docket, my documents.
Girl, I'm well versed. Well, I mean, shouldn't they be well versed on their side too? Don't they have a bunch of creators that they listen to? I don't even have any idea. One time I wondered, what is the ratio of Baldoni creators or Team Truth or however they want to categorize themselves to her side? Like, how many do you think? It feels
Oh,
like there's so many on this side, but those are the ones I watch. So of course, those are the ones I see. My algorithm doesn't show me pro Blake people because I wouldn't watch it anyways. But I do wonder, what is the ratio out there? How many people are actually pro Blake creators comparatively?
I don't
Probably not
know.
many.
Maybe it's all Ryan Reynolds.
I mean, they're all paid, like Mr. Spintriarch.
I haven't heard of
I
that
mean,
guy.
it would make me feel better if they were paid at this point, because they cannot be real people that actually believe this stuff. They can't.
Well, Julie would always like partially cover the docket all the way up to like the truth part, the real picture part, and then she'd kind of like veer off, and then you're like, can you read the rest of the docket? Like,
Yeah.
um,
They can only do it if you use only Blake's filings because they're all redacted and you can't actually read anything on them. And then they can argue with you and be like, no, because, nobody really knows what that says. You can't argue with anything that actually says anything of relevance or importance or shows any truth.
yeah. Yeah, and man, I'm really surprised. I thought the truth was all out there until Justin Baldoni's deposition when they were talking about communicating with the dead. I was like, oh, holy crap. Like, I didn't even think she'd keep that a secret, one, but like, that is way out of context for like what happened. But I'm like, oh, it's par for the course because everything that she said has been way like misconstrued, knotted up to like her argument doesn't even, yeah, she
You know what it means?
misremembered.
It means that she's communed with the dead. It means that she has talked to her dad. That's what that means because everything she says is something that she actually does. So she probably, I've seen her with her sage. She probably has. And then she's just like, ooh, that'll be a good one to pin on him. Oh,
The
this
most
other thing I
mucked
did, let's
up
say Justin did that too.
the most mucked up, yeah, that I think is the most mucked up part of it, is because that it's like the sage thing is like is a heavy cultural and spiritual connotation for a lot of people in our society. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many cultures you could have offended, but she did it. Like, I was offended. I was like, I use sage. What the fuck? Yeah, we use sage and we have a bad day. Why?
I have
Because
my Palo Santo right here.
it like, I don't know, it reframes your day. Even if you don't believe it, I'm reframing the day. I'm giving something better for the kids to believe in. But like, I'm just like, and then you're gonna talk about the passing of your father and exploit that. Geez, do you know how many people would give up their right leg to go talk to their deceased father? Like,
I know. Like I was saying earlier, it's like you wish you had a friend who was a medium so you could be like, hey, so and so around. You know what I mean? Like, hell yeah. I'd be like, really? What did they say? Can we
right?
do it again? Can you take me? Can I go?
Yeah, yeah. Like, oh my god, like, man, I honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen. But what are your feelings? What are your premonitions about what's gonna happen on the 22nd? What is your
With
gut
the
feeling?
unsealing? Is that the unsealing?
No, that's the oral arguments for MSJ.
I mean, my premonitions tend to come out flippantly when I'm just talking ish and kind of, and then I'll say something, be all, oh. So, I'm not really sure if I'm having any premonitions about that. I, it kind of feels like we've reached the point where the tide is finally turning. Not that we didn't already know all these things, but we are finally getting to the point where slowly but surely the documents are starting to reflect that. And
Mm-hmm.
the judge, I go back and forth with him so much about how he's doing things. I can totally see all the arguments about him on every side, and they all seem valid, honestly. uh, Down to him giving her everything she wants so she can't appeal, to him giving her everything she wants because there's some other reason. I don't know what to think about all that, but we're getting to the point where can't be ignored any longer, or like it's coming, the truth is coming out now.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that he starts to realize maybe he's been so busy because he has all these other cases, and they're flooding him with documents constantly that he probably hasn't read any of them. I mean, we have a whole team of people trying to keep up on reading them, and that maybe he just didn't realize that he was really being taken for a ride, and that
Yeah.
he will start to act accordingly from here on out. And we'll kind of know when we find out kind of how he treats them, because he always seems to treat them badly. And I'd like to see him give them a little bit more opportunity to speak without cutting them off and things like that, and maybe give it a little bit more heat to the other side. So hopefully I'll be right about that. And then we can circle back to here where I said it. I said that was going to happen.
You could be a resident medium. We'll just come to you for all the answers.
I wish I knew how to wrangle that kind of a power. If I am a medium, I really have a lot of learning to do. But mediums can't tell. They're not the same as psychics. I'm somewhere in the middle.
I think we all have a lot to learn from the paranormal and really what we can do spiritually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of think that maybe it's like this secret, but it's like an accessible secret. And we just have to figure out how to unlock it. Cause I mean, I really can't explain the last 2 years. I mean, even up to like this point, I'm like, how the fluff did she know all that? Honestly, like she predicted I was gonna get married. Like she predicted it was so cliche too. Oh, you've already met the person you're going to marry. Oh, I think he's at your work. And we're like, so cliche. So cliche. Whatever. And
And then
boom.
you went to work and you started looking at the guys like, which one of you is my hubby? And then you're like, that guy looks good.
Ironically, that's exactly what happened.
I'm psychic. Creating that destiny, baby.
And the rest is psychic history. And I, yeah, I mean, like, it's just insane. I wonder I wonder what my life would be like if I just didn't go to that psychic, or maybe like what would happen if I went to like a different one? Like,
They told you something else.
yeah, they told me something else and
You
it
get
just
married to someone else. They're like, yeah, you're getting married.
yeah, like that butterfly effect type thing.
I wonder what would happen if you went to one psychic and they told you one thing, and then you went to another psychic and they told you something, and then you went back to each of them and said, listen, I went to a different psychic who said this. What do you got to say? Because they told me this.
Oh my God. I should try that.
And then how do you decide which future you move forward in? It definitely puts you more back in the hands of, like serendipity.
Yeah, that'd be crazy though. Because then how would you decipher which one to pick? You
I
know?
mean, as a psychic, is there some sort of like psychic code that says you can't be all, well, they're clearly not really psychic?
It's some secret code, and they're like, "Oh God, the time
Yeah,
has
do a
come."
three-way call. Girlie said, do a three-way call. You're like, I'm going to need you two to talk because somebody here is lying.
And I'll be like, "But for the record, I want this to happen. So if you can work that out amongst yourselves."
I like her version better, so I'm pretty sure she's the one telling the truth.
Can you modify your predictions, please? Everybody
Did
needs
you
to be on the
want to
same
change your
page.
answer? If you want to change your answer, I understand. Oh man, every time I get to laughing or say something funny, my head just goes pound, pound. Oh man, that is good stuff. See how we brought it back around?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
You're going to be able to cut this live up into great chunks of different, like shorts galore in there, different segments. You could be like, here's where we talk about Blake and Ryan. Here's
Here's some aliens.
because
AI.
you got to break out that Blake and Ryan short and segment because that's where the people are. They're like, what? You said Blake and Ryan? That's what brings them in. You got to cut that out and put it up. I know I told that to Wrath and myself. I'm like, I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to read my posts on my page. About most of the people on my channel I know from this case anyways. They'll like it.
Right? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
all of my subs are Blake and Ryan. I don't think I have any subs for like paranormal stories or anything.
You got to leverage that audience so that they cross over.
Right? Where's Christina? Christina needs to get in here. I mean, we have Khaleesi, we have Girly. We need to get everybody else on the paranormal bus.
Khaleesi's a late nighter. I know that about her. Her and
Is
I have
she's
spent
a
some nights up late
warrior.
with her. She kept me company for quite some time while I was going through a hard time, and she's a late
Oh.
nighter. Christina is not as late of a nighter.
Yeah, I love
Um,
Christina. She's amazing. And Khaleesi's my girl. Khaleesi's like I one of my first, and she's
yeah,
always there, and she's always popping in. I just love the love. So thank you, Khaleesi, if you're still if you're still there.
yeah,
And Christina has been
she
asleep.
oh, Christina's been asleep for hours now. She crashes out about 10 o'clock, and if you see her modding and alive after 10, just know she's sleep modding. It's kind of like sleepwalking.
I love it.
She's like, I was modding last night. I don't even remember.
Well, yeah, the big creators draw such big crowds. You
They
do
do.
need,
I can't even keep up.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can either listen to the live or I can read the chat. I have a hard time doing both. And so I tend to listen more than I do reading the chat because they get off on tangents in the chat sometimes. But oh man, it's such a great group of people in there. We have
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah, it is.
funny and smart people in this community.
Yes. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Well, we've been doing this live for 2.5 hours. It is 12:30. Would you like to do this live again tomorrow at 10 p.m.?
Yeah. I mean, I've told all of my ghost stories. So I'm out of those because I don't have many. But I can always find something to talk about. I can take us off on many roads. And we could always do like, I could, pull cards, pull a couple cards or something too. And yeah, we could talk about whatever. I'm down. I can't go live on my channel still, so I might as well go live with someone else.
Well, I've actually pulled cards for Blake and Ryan. I do have a video on that, and
I think I
Lively's
saw that.
Lively's card was like really accurate for her personality, at least her rumored personality. Um, but the cards did say that Blake and Ryan are going to be together for like ever,
I mean,
which I
I'm
think they
I
will
would
be.
not that would not surprise me. I don't really see I think they're two of the same person. I literally think they're like male and female versions of the same person. He's just more advanced because he's smarter, I think. Um and when I saw them looking at each other in that picture of them when they met on the Green Lantern, I see in their eyes like a familiarness when they look at each other, like one and the same. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're like me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're going to live their demon lives together.
Yeah, and you know what? She's going back to the same place where he wants her. And I don't think she sees that, but at the same time, I don't think she really wants to change anything. They have like a weird dynamic, like they're meant to be together, but they're like almost breaking up like maybe every 6 to 18 months is like a feeling that I get. Like they're the tug of war meant to be together couple.
I don't think that they're meant to be together because they are in love. I don't think that's what it is. I think there's a lot of other reasons. I think it could be just the fact that they are two in the same and they know it and they're better together. You know what I mean? Like, I still have, my ideas about, I don't know. I don't think it's based on love though. I'm going to say that.
You
They
think it's
might,
a
they might.
business transaction?
I don't know. It might be, but it might also be a energy transaction.
Mm,
Two in the same. They're two in the
yeah.
same. Whether they're in love, I don't know about that. But I know that they are, I don't want to call them kindred spirits because kindred seems like a light, nice word. There's demon spirits. I don't know what you call it. It's something. Narcissist sees
Soulmates,
narcissist. I don't know.
spirit mates, energy mates.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, well, I get the feeling that they're definitely meant to be together. Um, that was like really evident when I saw that Green Lantern interview that they did. I
Exactly.
was like, whoa,
Yeah.
they are meant to be together. That is like no joke. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
maybe it's a business. I don't know. It'd be a business for her, not necessarily for him, you know? I don't know. Maybe Leslie Sloan knows better than we do.
I think they're all. I think they're the cult. I think that Blake and Ryan and Leslie and WME and all those people are the actual cult. And if you take the way that she has manipulated people and turned them to believing things like Isabella with her weird turnaround, if that's not cult-like behavior, I don't know what is.
Yeah, Isabella
So
Ferrer
I don't
did
know who
have a
she's
pretty
calling out.
Yeah, Isabella Ferrer did have a quick
Weird.
yeah,
Weird.
I still think that sleepover party was from Texas. It's just a feeling that I have, but I think it would just make so much sense if that sleepover party was Texas and Blake Lively had to like room with her because it was an unexpected surprise from Colleen Hoover. Like that's like the sense that I got, like, yeah, let's have a sleepover party. But really, I didn't get you another room because I wasn't expecting you here. But yeah, let's have a sleepover party. Like that's kind of like the feeling that I got. Because
Or
I
maybe
can't
they were down in the lower levels of their Buckingham Palace doing some sort of weird ceremonies.
that too. That too. Have you heard of the movie
Just saying.
Swimmers?
I mean,
Well, that's a
just
good
saying.
point. Have you heard of that Hollywood myth that if you sell your soul, you get fame and fortune? And
Oh,
it's like
yes.
a underground secret thing. They mentioned it, somebody mentioned it as a theory for the David and Celeste case, that it might have been some weird offshoot of a rumor like that.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
all
know.
about everything I've said tonight in this entire live is my opinion, allegedly, and a joke, okay? But I'm just saying, nothing would surprise me. The level of horrid that these people are, it's just nothing I wouldn't believe.
True.
I
And yes,
mean,
everything is alleged in our opinion.
you better
Don't
put
sue
up a
us.
banner for this whole. Put up a banner on this whole live.
Allegedly. Well, why don't we meet up tomorrow at 10
All right.
and we'll pick a paranormal topic and I'll try to stay on task.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because this was kind
If
of
you tell
fun.
me what the topic is earlier in the day, maybe I could find something to talk about myself because I pretty much told you everything I know.
Why don't we do Appalachia? Because there's
Okay.
so much in Appalachia.
I guess I'll
Stories
have
from
to take
Appalachia.
time from all this other stuff that I want to do. Why don't you learn all about it and then tell me? And I'll react live on
Done.
camera.
Done. We'll talk goblins and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm down.
All right, cool. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Get some sleep and prepare to be terrified.
All right. Good night, guys. Sweet
Good night,
dreams.
guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.